I'm back. Before we to it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and you always watch full video.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, y'all see the title. Let's get right into it.
We don't play with no regular nigga. On my brother. We do it.
Don't play my slide. On folks great, we'll guess like that. Switchy. No talking. No cap. No talking.
Switch game.
3 switches right here.
And I put the bitches
That's just enough right there. That's enough. 1, 2, 3. That's enough.
The Glock switch has become a staple.
You know what's be extra sad about these young dudes nowadays, bro? Is that like, all right, look, back in the day, the people who was into this stuff, most of them didn't know no better. It probably was nothing else to do. They like, in order to want better, you gotta see better. When you don't see nothing else, it's like it's hard to want something that you've never seen before, right? But nowadays, you have the internet, you got TV, you got movies. You see, it's way better things in life. And then 2, you see how many people are losing their life, taking shells, getting on, the bags, can't walk, stuck in a bed, brain gone. Like, bruh, you see it every single day. You see it, whether it's somebody you know or whether it's across the country. You see it every single day. But for some reason, they be thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna be successful. Whatever happened to him ain't gonna happen to me. I'm gonna be the one that's gonna make it through all the way to I'm old and nothing has happened. Some people do, but a lot don't. Right? It's like at this point again, you see better. Like, I don't know. I don't see how people don't learn from other people's mistakes. If you see it's so many people, certain bad things are happening to that are doing these certain bad things. And none of them, like, who said this? I forgot who this said. Somebody was just in an interview. They just said, they're like, they asked him why did they ever get into this type of stuff. He said, no, because I've never seen none of them successful. Bro, like, I don't know, bro. I like money, bro. I love money, bro. It ain't everything. I know time, family, and everything, and all that other stuff is more important. But I love money. I love to touch it. I love to count it. I love to see it grow. I love to see it stack. And I want to travel the world. We have a beautiful world, bro. And a lot of people, they don't want to see nothing but their street, and that's sad. And always remember, the street that you're dying over, you don't own.
In hip-hop, turning handguns into fully automatic hole punches. But a lot of misconceptions surround the switch, and in this video we'll be fully breaking it down. On November 7th, Chicago rapper Lil Zay Osama stood in front of a federal judge in Brooklyn, New York. It was sentencing day, and Zay had pled guilty back in May to 1 count of possession of a machine gun. On September 29, 2022, an Uber driver picked up Zay and several associates from a hotel in Manhattan. The driver would notice Zay was holding a firearm during the ride. Dropping them off at a recording studio in Queens, the driver saw they left the gun in the vehicle, so the driver called the police. NYPD would locate the 40 caliber Glock 22 with a switch, loaded with 1 round in the chamber and 9 more in the mag. When asked, the driver would identify Lil Zay Osama as the one who possessed it. This statement alone was enough to build a fake case.
He probably like, nah, I ain't calling you this. I call you, I use it of you, bro.
What's happening? Just put your hands around your back.
The Uber driver, he probably only had 2 thoughts in his head. If I call him, there's a chance you might try to use it on me. Or if I keep it, you might come try to find me. Nah, I'm gonna just call the law. Because even if he would throw it out, he still would have thought, hey, you got it. Somehow I dropped it in your car. I need it back. So, again, though, hey, when you're a good Samaritan, if you're a civilian, you can do what you want to do. Can't nobody say, "Hey, that's snitching." No, it's not, because he is a civilian.
We're gonna short it all up. We're gonna short it all up. What is going on? We're gonna short it all up. I'm the manager. He's being detained right now. So back up. I'm just.
You get my phone though?
Yeah, you got anything on you?
I'm on live, sir. Cut that off.
U.S. attorneys will submit a letter requesting to keep Zay in federal custody, labeling him a danger to society, and even quoting some of his lyrics, one of which stated, "Just got a brand new Glock with a 50 and a switch." The then 25-year-old had already been convicted of criminal trespassing, reckless conduct, 3 counts of robbery, aggravated battery, and aggravated discharge of a firearm. Zay would be held in custody and only released after paying a $350,000 bond. In January of 2024, he'd officially be indicted on 1 count of possession of a machine gun and 1 count of possession of an unregistered firearm. Everyone expected this to be the rapper's demise. Fast forward to November 7th, Zay, having pled guilty to the machine gun and getting the second charge dropped, was only sentenced to 14 months in federal prison, followed by 1 year of supervised release. Only having to serve 85% of his sentence, Zay will be home in less than a year. Immediately, he'd be accused online of snitching, solely because of the fact that he didn't get a decade or more in prison. So how did he get such a sweet deal? First off, 90% of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. A switch without a gun is still considered a machine gun. A switch and a gun is clearly a machine gun, and a machine gun under federal law is punishable by up to 10 years in federal prison, meaning you can get any.
Oh, so he didn't drop the. I'm thinking he dropped the whole thing. It was just the switch part of it. Well, I mean, it still probably would have been the same consequence if he would kept it, threw it out or whatever. Because that, I for sure. Get that out of here, man.
From supervised release, aka probation, to the max 10 years, depending on a few different factors. But as soon as the internet hears 10, they assume you'll just get 10 years for a switch. During Zay's plea deal, the courts calculated his offense level as 15 and criminal history as 2. The guideline range for this level scored out to 21 to 27 months in prison, or just over 2 years. Zay's lawyer would counter with a 7-month prison sentence, highlighting how Zay's felony convictions came from when he was a juvenile at just 15 and 16 years old.
Oh yeah, come on, man.
As an adult, he'd only been convicted of 2 misdemeanors. His lawyer would speak on his Chicago upbringing and how at only 14,
that's a good
Zay
lawyer.
was shot in the chest.
Damn.
His lawyer would also cite multiple cases in which defendants were sentenced to less than the guidelines. Taking it a step further, his lawyer would point out the unlivable conditions Zay had to endure while inside of MDC Brooklyn as rats and roaches flooded the facility. Inmates would...
Bruh, why? Look, I've like since Diddy has I think that's what Diddy at. I think another one, or it might be this one. I'm not sure. But when they talk about these prisons that are so run down as rats, roaches, and all that other stuff, like they talk about it on the news. On the news, that means everybody knows. It's not like all right, rumors, because it's on the news. I mean, even though the news can still lie, but it's on the news. Why don't these places be shut down? Why don't they be investigated? Why don't they be transfer these people out to another prison somewhere? It's always another one. It's always another one being built. So send them out somewhere else, clean this place up, and then put them back. Y'all love shipping prison around anyway. I don't get that. That what is wrong with this world? That's what I'm saying. Something's really wrong with this world, because it's like it be so many bad things that be going on. Everybody knows about it, and then nobody does nothing.
suffer indefinite lockdowns imposing solitary confinement-like conditions, furthering mental health issues, and leading to multiple inmates being killed. Zay's lawyer, Don Florio, was lawyering her ass off. Zay was in New York to perform at Rolling Loud. He was on his way to an interview when a firearm was left behind, and that firearm wasn't linked to any previous crimes. Zay's lawyer would again take it a step even further, pointing out rappers are often targeted for their wealth, and just 17 days before Zay was arrested, rapper PNB Rock was shot and killed during a robbery for his jewelry. The lawyer would top it all off with the statistical fact
that's a good lawyer right there. She knows what she's doing.
Between 2015 and 2023, there were 49 individuals in the Eastern District of New York sentenced for firearm-related offenses, with the median sentence being only 19 months. Zay had already served 8 months total fighting this case, and another 4 months from a state case, meaning he's already been incarcerated for 12 months. Now, the U.S. attorney would argue back, highlighting Zay's DNA was found on the weapon, and request he be sentenced to 27 months in federal prison. They'd also try to assassinate his character, speaking on Zay's 2023 arrest following a high-speed chase in Illinois, where police found a Glock 29 with a laser extended magazine and a switch, and a Glock 19 with a 50-round drum and defaced serial number. At the time, Zay was wearing a $90,000 necklace that was allegedly, according to the U.S. attorney, stolen during an armed robbery in New York. At no time was cooperation ever brought up in this case. At no time did Zay ever point the finger, arguing the weapon belonged to anyone else. And at no time did his lawyer or the U.S. attorney highlight a 5K1 or any other factors that would have reduced his sentencing by cooperating. In the end, Zay would receive 14 months in prison.
The thing why most people be thinking, all right, if you go to jail, you came home, you didn't get that much time. Like, it's different. It's different tax brackets. It's the people who can't afford a good lawyer, which he did. I mean, he afforded a good lawyer. Most people can't. Me, I can't. Me, if I go to jail right now, I'm getting a public defender. And most of the public defenders, they be working with the DA. They trying to get you locked up. Most of them. I can't say this. The last time I did go to jail, thank God, it's been a very, very long time, bro. Very, very, very long time. I've been just as I was a teenager, bro. But I had a public defender, but she was on my side. Because, hey, if it was up to me, I would have had a strike right now. But her, she was like, no, we ain't doing that one. She got me off. And all I had to do was go back to school. It was easy, bro.
Prison, 1 year of supervised release, and a recommendation that he be housed in FCI Thompson, closer to his family in Chicago. With the internet claiming Zay must have ratted, he'd take to his Instagram story addressing the rumors saying, "Stop believing everything you hear or see on the internet. You really think you can get 30 years for a switch? Hell no. I don't care what state you in. Facts. But switches is dangerous and carry 3 or 4 years, maybe less, depending on your background. But they becoming a problem in a lot of cities, so it might be worse for you. Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, everybody get different time.
Don't look at my situation and think you need a switch, cause it can end bad for you. Stop playing with snitching for real. Have 1090 Jake look up my switch case." Now, not only did Zay get a sweet deal, but he's also signed to Warner Records, could afford a $350,000 bond, and a New York top lawyer. So to sum it all up, if you ain't rich, don't tote a switch. Nah, I'm just playing. To sum it all up, because of his weak criminal history, right? Because they're not using anything that he hasn't been convicted for. He might have open cases, cool, but whatever. Adult convictions, misdemeanors. Juvenile shit, felonies. But it's been a long time, and they're trying to portray that he's changed his life and become an artist and got a record deal, and he's obviously worth.
Oh God, sometimes that does help you too. If say, hey, don't be going to jail. Jail is a waste of time. But if your cases are super, have a long time span between each other, that they take that into consideration too. Like, all right, if you went to jail when you 18, and then now you're back when you're 28. That's a very long time, bro. That's a very long time. So it's like, all right, he's maybe this is just wrong place, wrong time, a heated situation, a situation that just went, just a little bit too far, a little bit too left, something like that. So sometimes, and again, you got a good lawyer who know to talk that lawyer talk. Come on, bro.
A lot of fucking money. And then the guideline range that the lawyer was able to highlight to the judge shows, look, 49 people got off at around 19 months. What can we do for my client?
Let's make a
This
deal.
is clearly a case of money talks, bullshit walks. If you walk into a courtroom, federal estate without a fucking lawyer, you're fucked. If you walk in there with a top lawyer, a celebrity lawyer, a highly six-figure paid lawyer, you're gonna get an entirely different type of fucking deal. And a lot of y'all are forgetting machine guns and silencers are classed in the same way, right? Pretty sure it's the same punishment for a silencer as it is for a machine gun. Y'all remember T.I. got caught with all that crazy shit, and he didn't get a whole lot of time. Everyone assumed he snitched, and the commercial on TV about tips didn't help. But in reality, nobody ever got paperwork that showed he snitched. And there's nothing saying Zay snitched, aside from the fucking people on
People
the internet.
just left on
like
that word around,
told
bro.
him,
That's it.
you can't beat the internet. But stay away from switches and guns that ain't yours. Higher security. PNB Rock, rest in peace. He died with a gun on him.
Man.
Tucked in his waistband. They just came out with the body cam footage. He died with a gun. Didn't even get a chance to pull it out.
That video's on this channel.
And it was over with. So think twice, think smart.
Facts, bro. Facts. You better safe than sorry, but sometimes that better is not gonna help you, bro. You're better off, like, again, it's a sad, crazy world that we live in, bro. Cause like, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, whether you can be a pastor, never done nothing to nobody, and somebody can still, hey, you just walk past the wrong person who's having a who's his own one. You was too happy. They ain't happy. Why you smiling so much? This is not a good world at all. Not even close, bruh. Make sure y'all stay out the way. Make sure y'all stacking money y'all spending. Make sure y'all building up that credit and trying to own something.